Welcome, architects and developers. Today we are tackling one of the most critical challenges in production AI, managing context windows effectively across long documents and extended sessions. Let's dive in. Let's begin by defining what the context window actually is. Think of it as Claude's working memory. Every system prompt, every chat message, every document you upload, and every tool result gets packed into this fixed-size container. Why is understanding this so critical? Because unlike humans, Claude doesn't have a persistent background memory of past sessions by default. If a fact isn't actively inside the current window, Claude cannot act on it. The deep dive here is that context management behaves like a cliff. When you overflow the window, you don't get a graceful degradation, you get silent truncation. The biggest trap developers fall into is assuming that giving the model more context automatically yields better results. In truth, overstuffing the window dilutes Claude's attention and wastes tokens. Ruthless curation is your goal. Look at this flowchart representing the context window container. You have multiple streams of data prompts, messages, tool outputs, and documents all pouring into a single, finite space. As the container fills up, Claude must distribute its finite attention across all these inputs before generating a response. If we don't manage the flow, the container overflows. Now we must discuss a psychological phenomenon that also applies to AI, the lost-in-the-middle effect. If you paste a 50-page contract into a prompt and ask a question about a clause on page 25, Claude is statistically more likely to miss it than if the clause were on page 1 or page 50. Why? Because transformer models naturally weight the edges of the context window more heavily. The start of your prompt benefits from primacy, and the end benefits from recency. The middle is an attention dead zone. How do we architect around this? Through position-aware ordering. If you have a mission-critical constraint, such as a strict financial limit, you must never bury it in the middle of your conversation history. Put your most important instructions at the very top, and reiterate them at the very bottom. This visual perfectly illustrates the U-shaped recall curve. The green boxes on the left and right represent the start and end of your prompt. These are high recall zones where Claude pays the most attention. The red box in the center represents the middle of your document or conversation, highlighting the risky attention dead zone where critical instructions are easily lost. As your sessions run long, you will hit context limits. A common instinct is to use progressive summarization, compressing older messages into a short summary to save tokens. However, for production agents, this is a massive anti-pattern. Why? Because progressive summarization acts like a leaky bucket. Imagine a customer provides their name, a complex account ID, and an exact order amount in turn 1. By turn 5, your summary might just say customer with billing issue. The specific account ID is destroyed. If your agent later needs to call a process refund tool, it will fail because the required ID is gone from the context window. You must realize that summarization inherently deletes the exact type of granular data that agentic tools rely on to function. Here we see the destructive nature of progressive summarization. In turn 1, we have perfect, high-fidelity data. As we move down the chain and apply summarization algorithms to save tokens, the data degrades. By turn 10, the specific account ID is completely lost, which directly causes the backend tool call to fail. This is the leaky bucket in action. How do we solve the leaky bucket problem? The exam-certified solution is the immutable case facts block. What is this? It is a structured reference table that you programmatically pin to the very top of your context window. Instead of letting Claude's conversation history summarize the user's data, you use an extraction tool to capture the hard facts: the account ID, the order number, the exact dollar amount, and lock them into this block. Why is this so effective? First, it leverages position-aware ordering by placing the data in the high recall zone at the start of the prompt. Second, because you explicitly flag it with "Do not summarize," the agent has 100% perfect recall of those identifiers on turn 1 or turn 50. It is the ultimate safeguard for transactional workflows. This diagram reveals the optimal architecture for a context window. At the very top, in bright green, sits our immutable case facts block, guaranteeing perfect tool execution. Below it, we safely place our summarized conversational history to save tokens. Finally, at the bottom, we keep the most recent verbatim messages for immediate context. This hybrid approach gives you both context depth and perfect data retention. In advanced environments like Claude Code or multi-agent research, sessions can run for hours. This leads to context degradation. What happens is that your context window fills up with exploratory noise like giant error stack traces or massive JSON tool outputs. Why is this dangerous? Because as the window fills with irrelevant text, Claude's tool selection accuracy plummets. It forgets its original constraints. To fix this, you have two powerful mechanisms. First, use the compact command to safely compress the history and reclaim token space. But for a true deep dive, you must master Scratchpad files. Instruct your agent to write its key findings to an external markdown file on the disk. Because this file exists outside the context window, it survives any context reset or compaction. The agent simply rereads the Scratchpad file to instantly restore its working state. Here we visualize our toolkit for fighting context degradation. When a session starts degrading, we don't just throw more tokens at it. We branch into our mitigation strategies. We can run the compact command. We can offload state to external Scratchpad files, or we can use sub-agent delegation to isolate the noise. All three paths lead to restored context quality and high performance. Let's apply these concepts to a real-world, highly complex use case, multi-document analysis. Imagine you need Claude to cross-reference a 50-page financial report against 10 lengthy earning call transcripts. The challenge is obvious. Stuffing all 11 documents into one prompt will blow out your context window and guarantee that crucial facts are lost in the middle. The architectural solution is to combine sub-agent delegation with Scratchpad isolation. Step 1. Your main coordinator agent spins up a research sub-agent. Step 2. The sub-agent reads the transcripts in its own isolated context window. As it finds discrepancies, it writes them out to an external findings.md Scratchpad file. It never returns the full text to the coordinator. Step 3. The coordinator simply reads the lightweight Scratchpad file. By hiding the exploratory noise, the coordinator's context remains pristine, allowing for a flawless final synthesis. This sequence diagram maps out our real-world isolation strategy. The coordinator delegates the heavy reading to the subagent. Notice the subagent's activation block. It processes the massive transcripts in complete isolation. Instead of returning the noise, it writes strictly to the findings Scratchpad. The coordinator then seamlessly reads that clean Scratchpad file to execute the final synthesis. Let us wrap up with the golden rules of context management for your certification. First, always place your critical instructions at the extreme edges of your prompt to avoid the lost in the middle effect. Second, protect your transactional identifiers by replacing leaky progressive summarization with immutable case facts blocks. Third, never dump massive raw API payloads into your history. Aggressively trim verbose tool outputs. And finally, for extended sessions, utilize Scratchpad files, the compact command, and isolated subagents to keep your primary reasoning context clean and sharp. Mastering these limits separates a novice from a true AI architect. I invite learners to like, subscribe, and visit quicktechie.com for premium certification prep, including Q&A banks, full ebooks, audiobooks, full-length training, and interview guides. See you in the next session. This final mind map is your ultimate study guide for context management. It branches into our three core pillars: positioning, emphasizing edge placement, preservation, highlighting the necessity of case facts over summarization, and extended sessions, showcasing the power of compact commands, Scratchpads, and subagent isolation. Commit this to memory, and you will architect flawless systems.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material, so this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see these are all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have a 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now the third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepare for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.